Hello, and welcome back to another edition of K-Tap Reviews. Today on tap we have Captain Lawrence's Brewing Company's Captain's Reserve Imperial IPA. That's a mouthful. Now, I happen to be in Whole Foods, and they had this stand, and they were sampling beers. They had this beer there. I decided why not. They had Liquid Gold, they had this, and they had something else, I don't remember. So I went ahead and gave this a shot, and never had it before, and I could not believe what I was drinking, what I was sampling, because they were giving this as a sample. And normally, I haven't had a beer samples that were so high quality. So I went ahead and picked up a bottle, and I want to go ahead and review it for all of you. Now this here clocks in at 9%. It doesn't say it on the bottle. See, and that's another thing that I hate. I do not like when a brewery does not label their beers with either the date and or the ABV. This doesn't have the ABV, but so I had to look it up. This is a 9% brew, hence the Imperial, and this 80 IBUs. It doesn't have, not that I see here, it doesn't have a date, a born on date. So I'm just gonna hope that this is fresh. I don't really know, but we'll find out. So let's get this open here and see what it has for us in terms of appearance, smell, taste, and just an overall verdict on the beer. The beer pours a very clear golden color. With about an inch and a half, finger and a half's worth of head. There's tons of carbonation streaming off the bottom of this glass here. This just looks, it doesn't look like your typical IPA, in that typical IPAs are usually dark amber. This doesn't look like that. So yeah, we have something different here. So let's go ahead and get it open here and see what it has for us in the smell. Okay, so we have the beer poured. Let's put it to the nose and see what we come up with. Okay, you get that very IPA hop forward smell, and that it's a mild grapefruity smell to it. There is a spiciness in there that I'm getting that isn't typical to the IPAs that I've had. Usually they're just grapefruit forward, maybe some pininess in there. I don't get that. I just get spicy and I get grapefruit. All right, so let's go ahead and put this down the hatch here and see what it tastes like. Cheers. That's a damn good beer. Alright, what I would say about that beer, that is a really, really good double IPA. Now, last time I had, the last beer I had, I said it was the best. This is not one of the best that I've had for my palate. I think it's a really, really good beer in that you get, up front, you get a grapefruit, spicy quality to it. With a nice sweetness in there that balances out that hop bitterness. What I'm getting that's a little apparent to me is that alcohol bite. It's really prevalent for me, and it's reminding me that it's a 9% beer. Now, you know, when I usually review beers, I like them to be more balanced, and not saying that this is not a great beer. I would just like not to taste that alcohol bite as much as I'm tasting it here. In the last beer that I had, I thought it was, and the last one I reviewed last week, I thought it was probably one of the better IPAs that I've ever had. Now, granted, that was an IPA. This is a double IPA, so there's a difference in alcohol percentage. But I've had really good double IPAs that aren't as just hot, as they say. And when they mean hot, that means very alcohol. You can taste the alcohol content. With that said, I think this is a really good double IPA. It has a great mouthfeel, and that's something that I got in the last beer too. Was just a great mouthfeel. That carbonation that's coming off there, that coating of my palate. This is if it wasn't for that alcohol bite, this would be a very refreshing brew. It's just that alcohol presence really reminds me I got to take it easy with this one. So overall, what would I give this beer? Listen, I think this is a great beer. If it wasn't for the fact that it was so hot, so alcohol forward, this would be one of my top-notch beers. Has tons of flavor. It has a great, look to it, a great appearance. Has a great, grapefruit forward, hoppy presence. A little bit spicy, which is good, which stirs up the pot a little bit in terms of the IPA category. A lot of the IPAs you get are very grapefruit dominant, and they have a piney finish. This has a spicy finish, which I like. It makes things a little different. This would be an A+ beer if it wasn't for that heat you get from the alcohol. For that, my rating for this beer is going to be an A. So this beer, the Captain Lawrence Brewing Company's Captain's Reserve Imperial IPA, gets an A rating from me. If you can find it, definitely a beer to pick up and give a try. This is not something to pass over. Well, until next time, guys. Cheers.